This is Calvin Castine. We're coming to you live here at the Champlain News Channel's head end with the election results. But before we get into the election results, there's a couple of things I wanted to be sure to mention. One is the scores of the soccer games. Kieran Gilroy, Sam Castine, and I were busy with soccer this afternoon. The Northeastern Clinton girls lost to Canton by a 1-0 score, and the Seton Catholic girls defeated Ogdensburg Free Academy by a 2-1 score. We also want to remind everyone of the spaghetti dinner tomorrow night for the Help NCCS project. This is at the Pier Restaurant in Rouse's Point starting at 5 p.m. $4 for adults, $2 for children 12 and under. Spaghetti dinner to help the NCCS project at Northeastern. Our results, we're going to be giving you coverage of Champlain, Chazy, and Moores. And we've had some assistance, and before I get busy and forget to thank the people who have assisted us, Sam Castine covered the polls in Rouse's Point, and he's manning the camera and adding up some figures for us. Chris Latrimore will be with us shortly. He's getting the facts and figures from Chazy. And Scarlett Sample is a little bashful. She's not going to be here, but she did call in the results for us, and we certainly thank her for that. The county races, we'll give you the totals on those, but this is just going to be a portion of what the overall figures are going to be, so we're not going to be able to give you too much on the overall totals there. There's only one real race countywide. That's the race for coroner. And the county clerk, Bernard Emel, is the incumbent. He's running uncontested. For county coroner, our local fellow, Ken LaPlante, is running against Stephen Gluck. LaPlante has moved over to the Democratic Party. Gluck is a Republican. We'll be giving you the county legislator. John Zerlo is unopposed there in Champlain, in Moore's area, and Sue Castine is unopposed in Chazy, so we won't have much in the legislative race. In Moore's, Supervisor Jack Dragoon is unopposed. Frank Goodrich Jr. is unopposed. We have a race for the town justice spot. Cindy Sample and Gilbert Gibby Brassard are running for the vacancy. Larry Peachy Bigor is the incumbent there. He is running for councilman. So he's giving up his spot as town justice, and Cindy Sample and Gibby Brassard are running for that spot. For councilman, it's a three-way race. The Democrats, the incumbent is Beverly Lamberton. The other incumbent is Bruce Sample, who has chosen not to run. So we have two newcomers, the Democrat Larry Bigor, as we said, was town justice. He's now running for councilman. And the other spot, a Republican, is James Menard. Highway superintendent, the race there is the incumbent Ken Billings against Republican Philip Miller. And for tax collector, Democrat Gerald LaValle is challenging the incumbent Shirley Gadway. In Chazy, Sue Castine, as we said, is unopposed. George Dino is unopposed in the supervisor race. Leo Oliver is unopposed for tax collector. Town justice Mike Gagner is unopposed. Councilman, we have a three-way race there. Wayne Dino and Donald LaValle. Dino, the Republican, Democrat, and LaValle, the Republican, are both incumbents. And James Laramie was a former councilman. He ran for supervisor 2 years ago, and he lost. The supervisor was available 2 years ago when Supervisor Joubert retired, and Dino and Laramie ran, and Dino got the nod there. So now Laramie is running again to try to regain his councilman seat. The highway superintendent is expected to be a close race. Max Davis, the incumbent Republican, he's being challenged by James Sessoms. You may recall the last time these two ran, it was a three-way race, and Davis got the nod there. So a two-way race, it's going to be interesting to see what the final results are. In Champlain, Zerlo, as we said, is unopposed. The supervisor race, Leo Letourneau, after a long time in office and serving the town and town justice, councilman, and his last position was supervisor. He is retiring now. That left a vacancy. Letourneau, the Democrat. Gerald Mayo, the Republican, is running. He's running unopposed. Mayo is a councilman. He will have a vacancy in his spot. This will probably be interesting come January when they try to fill that spot, depending on who wins the races here. Town clerk, Ralph Gilpin, is unopposed. Town justice, we have two spots. They're both unopposed, both Democrats, John LeBounty and John Favreau. For the councilman race, there's a four-way race for two spots. Arnold Beal is the only incumbent there. The other incumbent, Gerald Blaine, is not running. So the other Democrat is Albert Morelli, and the two Republicans are Ralph Cookman, who is a trustee in the village of Champlain, and the other is Richard Lauren. Highway Superintendent Joseph Paneff is unopposed. He's running on a Republican. He's a Republican, but he's running also on a Democratic ticket. And a tax collector, the incumbent Liam Dupe, is running against the Republican Alan Cardin. And Dupe got the nod 2 years ago. He replaced John Zerlo when Zerlo became the legislator, replacing Larry Paquette. So we'll be back. We're going to start with Chazy. We're going to get Chris Latchmore up here, and we'll be back right after a couple of messages, so stay with us.
It's 1926.
We at Lattimore's are working to give you the best possible coverage at the least amount of premium. No matter if it's auto, homeowners, tenants, farm, business, or life, we will tailor your needs. You pay for only what you need. Comprehensive coverage at competitive pricing. That's the Lattimore way. 2 locations to serve you. Washington Avenue, Chazy, and 55C Cornelia Street, corner of Oak and Cornelia, Plattsburgh. Service we're proud of. That's Lattimore's.
This is Gary Dragoon from Dragoon's Farm Equipment in Moores, New York, wanting to thank everybody for their support this summer with our Cub Cadet lawn and garden tractors and implements. With winter here and snow to clear, attach one of our snow blades or 2-stage snow blowers to your garden tractor, or try our new 826 walk-behind snow blower. This 2-stage unit is powered by a heavy-duty 8-horsepower Tecumseh Snow King engine and clears a wide 26-inch path. We also have 3 other walk-behind units to choose from to fit your budget and needs. At Dragoon's Farm Equipment, Route 11, Moores, New York.
This is Carl Smith at James C. Smith & Son Incorporated, Bridge Road in Champlain. No matter how new or old your heating system is, after 1 season of operation, it should be cleaned and serviced by one of our trained technicians to ensure peak performance for the coming year. Now is an excellent time to update your older equipment or install a new heating system. Don't wait for the autumn rush. Call us today for a free estimate. Whether or not you are presently one of our fuel accounts, we will be pleased to handle your service and installation needs. Call James C. Smith & Son Incorporated at 298-4521 in Champlain.
As you know, Hometown Cable is supported primarily by viewer patrons, those people who send in $12 or more to help Hometown Cable provide various programs of the local area. Michael Frenier, Carpet and Upholstery Cleaning, has made an offer to provide cleaning of up to $40 in value, free of charge, no restrictions, for the first 90 patrons who will request it when they send in their donation to Hometown Cable. So become a patron, ask for your free cleaning of your rugs at home, and you will help Hometown Cable continue to bring these programs to you. Become a patron.
Our thanks to the folks at Frenier's Carpet Cleaning for this outstanding offer. And a reminder that the Hometown Cable address is Hometown Cable, RR1 Box 180, Champlain, New York 12919. Make your checks payable to Hometown Cable. And the address, once again, Hometown Cable, RR1 Box 180, Champlain, New York 12919. Become a viewer patron. Keep local programming on the air and get your carpet cleaned for free. Joining us now is Chris Latchmore from Chazy, and Chris has been gathering up the Chazy results. He's been so busy he didn't have time to shave.
That's correct.
I shaved as soon as I got back from Potsdam today, Chris. You must have been busier than I was today.
Well, it's after 5. This is my 5 o'clock shadow.
Oh, okay. You're like John Zerlo. John has to shave twice a day.
Yeah.
Take it away.
Okay, thank you, Calvin. Okay, we'll start off first with the county clerk position. As Calvin already mentioned, we had Bernard Amel running unopposed. In Chazy, West Chazy, and Scioto, he came up with a total of 972 votes. Second, running in the corner position, Ken LaPlante in Chazy received on the Democrat ticket 274 votes. In West Chazy, he received 197 votes. And in Scioto, he received 47 votes. Running on the Republican ticket, Stephen Gluck in Chazy, he received 305 votes. West Chazy, 263 votes. And in Scioto, he received 79 votes, with a total of 647 votes. Also, Ken LaPlante was running on the Liberal ticket. In Chazy, he received 21 votes. West Chazy, 9 votes. Scioto, 4 votes, with a total of 34 votes on the Liberal ticket. Ken came up with a grand total of 552 votes running on the Democrat and the Liberal ticket. As Calvin mentioned, county legislator, we had Susan Castine running unopposed. On the Republican ticket in Chazy, she received 388 votes. West Chazy, 289 votes. And in Scioto, she received 86 votes. Susan was also running on the Conservative ticket. Chazy, she received 61 votes. West Chazy, 71. Scioto, 12. Her grand total was 907 votes. I'm sorry. Now going to the local ticket, we'll start off with supervisor. Running on the Democrat ticket for supervisor was George Dino, who was running unopposed. He received in Chazy 436 votes, in West Chazy 447 votes, and in Scioto 112 votes, with a grand total of 995 votes. Next, we'll move on to town clerk and tax collector. This was running on the Republican ticket was Leo Oliver, who was running unopposed. Chazy, he received 536 votes. In West Chazy, he received 389 votes. And in Scioto, he received 109 votes, with a grand total of 1,034 votes. Next is town justice, with Mike Gagner running unopposed. Chazy, Mike received 395 votes. In West Chazy, he received 405 votes. And in Scioto, he received 88 votes, with a grand total of 888 votes. Next, we'll go on to councilmen. As Calvin mentioned, this was a three-way race. We had Wayne Dino running on the Democrat ticket. Wayne received in Chazy 208 votes. In West Chazy, 354 votes. And Scioto, he received 79 votes, with a grand total of 641 votes. Running on the Republican ticket, we had Donald LaValle. In the town of Chazy, he received 474 votes. In the town of West Chazy, he received 248 votes. And in the town of Scioto, he received 80 votes, with a grand total of 802 votes. Also running on the Republican ticket for councilman was James Larmy. In the town of Chazy, he received 492 votes. In the town of West Chazy, he received 202 votes. In the town of Scioto, 72 votes, with a grand total of 766 votes. The winner for councilman is Don LaValle and James Larmy, both on the Republican ticket. Our final ticket is superintendent of the highway. We had on the Democrat ticket James Sessoms, and on the Republican ticket Maxwell Davis. Sessoms received in Chazy 276 votes. In West Chazy, he received 384 votes. And in Scioto, he received 103 votes, with a grand total of 763 votes. Max Davis in the town of Shazy received 389 votes. The town of West Shazy, 154 votes. The town of Scioto, 36 votes. The grand total of 579, with James Sessoms coming out the winner with 763 votes. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to thank all the people in the town of Shazy for going out and voting. And I'd like to congratulate all the winners. And I'd also like to say hi to my two boys at home, Jeremy and Perry. They're home watching me.
Harrison's Village Pharmacy in Rouse's Point is helping you take care of yourself 7 days a week with fast, friendly personal service. Add your family's complete medical and prescription history to our computer files for allergy screening and drug interactions. Because we care at Harrison's, we take the time for patient counseling. In addition to prescriptions, Harrison's carries a variety of home health care items such as bedpans, crutches, humidifiers, heating pads, first aid supplies, and more. If you don't see what you want at Harrison's, just ask. Harrison's Pharmacy is open daily 9 to 5:30, Saturday 9 to 3, and Sunday 9 to 1.
Trahan Construction of Rouse's Point brings 40 years of experience and a tradition of quality to every job. In the general contracting business since the early 1950s, Trahan's has remained the North Country's #1 choice. If you're building a new home, planning major renovations, or in need of commercial construction, make the right choice. Choose the contractors that have built the North Country. Call Trahan Construction in Rouse's Point. The reason we let Chris say hello to his children is because he gave us a viewer patron check when he came in, so that's allowed as long as you do something like that. So we're going to quickly give you the totals in Moores. And by the way, we have somebody monitoring WPTZ. If they have any results on the mayor race, we'll give that to you, and we'll pass that along as soon as we can. Amel running unopposed, we're not too interested in. LaPlante in Moores received 478 Republican votes and 39 Liberal votes, and LaPlante received 478 Democrat votes, and Gluck received 436 Republican votes. We're going to try to give you a total in our area on LaPlante and Gluck by the time we sign off. Legislator Zerlo received 419 Republican votes, 33 Conservative, and 46 Liberal votes. He is unopposed. Supervisor Jack Dragoon had 509 votes as a Democrat. He's a Republican, and he received more votes as a Democrat than he did as a Republican. He's received 449 as a Republican. There are 3 voting districts in Moores, just as there is in Shazy: the Moores Fire Station, Moores Forks, and also up at Cannon's Corners. Frank Goodridge, unopposed, received 521 as a Democrat and 490 as a Republican. He also is a Republican, but received more as a Democrat. In the town justice race, Cindy Sample received 228 in Moores to give Brassard's 264. In Moores Forks, she received 130 to give Brassard's 122. And in Cannon's Corners, she received 189 to 127, and that appears to have been the difference. Our unofficial totals are 547 for Cindy Sample and 513 for Gibby Brassard, so it appears that Cindy Sample will be the new town justice in the town of Moores. In the 3-way councilman race, Bev Lamberton received 319 in Moores, Larry Begor 274, and James Menard 261. In Moores Forks, Lamberton received 193, Begor received 94, and Menard received 155. In Cannon's Corners, it was Lamberton with 235, Begor 137, and Menard 170. So unofficially, our totals would indicate that Lamberton and Menard are the winners 747 for Lamberton, 586 for Menard, and 505 for Bigorre. And we should point out that all these totals are unofficial, as best we can do, but we're pretty sure of our figures here. In the superintendent race, incumbent Billings received 333 and Moores. Miller received 172. In Morris Forks, it was 126 to 130. Miller getting 4 more votes than Morris Forks. And in Cannon's Corners, it was 171 for Billings and 154 for Miller. Billings 630 total. Miller with a 456 total, so it looks like Billings will remain as highway superintendent. Tax collector, LaValle 202 in Moores to Gadway's 291. In Morris Forks, it was 111 for LaValle and 140 for Gadway. And in Cannon's Corners, it was 145 for LaValle and 173 for Gadway. So it looks like Gadway will remain as tax collector from 604 to 458. We're going to be right back with the Champlain results, so please stick with us. You're watching Hometown Cable, and at Hometown Cable, we're watching you. The Hotel Holland, Lake Street and Rouse's Point, wants to remind everyone of their daily luncheon specials Monday through Friday. The dining room is open from 7 a.m. to 1:30 and from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Eat in or call ahead to take out. That's the Hotel Holland, 87 Lake Street in Rouse's Point. For business or pleasure, they'll know you've arrived in a limousine from Garceau's Limousine Service. Call 298-3272 for your reservation. When you drop into Ubald Sunoco, Route 11 in Champlain, be sure to visit Garceau's Mini Mart. You'll find well-stocked shelves and the same friendly, courteous service you've come to expect at Ubald's. The staff at Garceau's Mini Mart is always on the go, making certain that the item you need is there when you want it. There's no need for an extra stop when you can get a full-service gas station and everything you expect from a convenience store, all in the same handy location. No matter how you look at it, Garceau's Mini Mart is the place to go. And we're back with Champlain. We'll be very quick here. It's approaching 11. In the coroner race, LaPlante received 478 votes. In the Champlain, that's in District 1 and District 3, as a Democrat. Nope, that's in Moores. Scratch that. I have too many sheets on the table. LaPlante received a total of 417 votes. Maytag Gluck received a total of 417 votes. And LaPlante received, there we go. LaPlante received 450 in Champlain and 354 in Rouse's Point in District 2 and 4 for a total of 843. Gluck received 232 in the 2 districts in Champlain and 417 in Rouse's Point for a total 185 in Rouse's Point for a total of 417. So in our area in Champlain, LaPlante 843, Gluck 417. Zerlo uncontested, he received 503 votes in Champlain, 429 in Rouse's Point for a total of 1,030 votes. Gerald Mayo uncontested, he received 473 votes in Champlain, 333 in Rouse's Point for a total of 870. Ralph Gilpin received 538 votes in Champlain, 462 in Rouse's Point for an even 1,000 according to our unofficial totals. John Labounty, 473 in Champlain, 441 in Rouse's Point for a total of 914. He's unopposed. Jack Favreau unopposed, 473 in Champlain, 402 in Rouse's Point for a total of 875. In the four-way councilman race, Arnold Beal received 398 votes in Rouse's Point, He received 376 votes in Champlain. He had a total of 774. There comes the Plattsburgh mayor result, so don't go away. Albert Morelli received 310 votes in Rouse's Point, 352 in Champlain, for a total of 662. Ralph Cookman received 323 votes in Champlain, 177 in Rouse's Point, for a total of 500. Richard Lauren received 165 votes in Rouse's Point, 304 in Champlain, for a total of 469. So unofficially, it looks like the two Democrats, the incumbent Beal and the newcomer Morelli, are elected with a total of 774 and 662. Finishing in third was Cookman with 500 and Lauren with 469. Joe Fineff unopposed. He received 1,176 votes altogether in both towns, both Champlain and Rouse's Point. That's only one town of Champlain. Leon Dupe, tax collector race, received 483 votes in Champlain, 318 in Rouse's Point, for a total of 801. His challenger, Alan Carden, received 253 in Champlain, 231 in Rouse's Point, for a total of 484. We'll be right back with the figures from Plattsburgh on the mayor race, and we'll give you a recap on the races that we had here and tell you what the totals are, who the winners are in the races.
To go.
Tonight's program is being brought to you in part by the Champlain Telephone Company in Champlain, New York. Established in 1903, the Champlain Telephone Company proudly serves the communications needs of Champlain, Rouse's Point, Mowers, and Altona. We at Hometown Cable would like to take this opportunity to thank the folks at Champlain Telephone Company for their continued support in bringing local programming to you, our viewers. And we hope that you will think of the Champlain Telephone Company for all your communications needs.
Hi, we're standing in front of the Pier Restaurant on the Pier, Montgomery Street, at Rouse's Point, New York, with the operator of the Pier Restaurant, Howard Lamberton, who operates with his wife Doris. And he's made a very generous contribution to Hometown Cable. He is telling anyone out there that if you will send a contribution of $12 or more to Hometown Cable, he will give 100 $12 certificates, one for each $12. And that certificate for $12 will give you 25% off your bill when you come to the Pier Restaurant, maximum of $15, one certificate per visit. So if you want to take advantage of this man right here who looks like he can be taken advantage of, just send your money and you help Hometown Cable, and we thank you very much, Howard, for your generosity in helping Hometown Cable. And it's right here at Rouse's Point. What is it you say? Come for the view?
Come for the view, you'll come back for the food.
Okay. First time you can have some food, too. 25% off. Send that donation. And don't forget, you have to ask for this. It will not automatically be sent to you. Tell them you'd like to get a certificate to the Pier Restaurant. Thanks again, Howard.
You're welcome.
Has Old Betsy been giving you problems lately? Maybe it's time you visited the One-Stop Car Care Center, North Country Auto. For all your automotive needs, call Paul Sterling at 297-5513. There's no need to miss work for car repairs. North Country Auto will pick up and deliver your vehicle in the immediate area. Framework, auto body, mechanical, painting, brake work, exhaust systems, or you name it, North Country Auto will make it right. So remember to call Paul Sterling at 297-5513. That's 297-5513. Tonight's program is being brought to you by your friends at Shazy Orchards in Shazy, New York. They want to remind everyone that their Route 9 store is open daily during normal business hours from August through June for those of you who'd like to buy cold, crisp apples direct from the orchard. Shazy Orchards is also looking to promote your upcoming fundraising event. If your nonprofit group has a function coming up that you'd like to have announced in this spot, send the details at least 1 week in advance to Hometown Cable, 180 Ridge Road, Champlain, New York, 12919. No phone calls, please. As part of their continuing community involvement, Shazy Orchards is proud to help promote your fundraising event.
We're back with a very quick report. The report from Plattsburgh is that it looks like Rabideau has been returned, but they didn't have any figures on that. But the early returns, according to WPTZ, is that Rabideau will be returned as mayor, defeating the challenger, Bobby Hall. A quick look at our races in our northern tier. In Moores, the races were for Town Justice. Cindy Sample appears to, all these figures again are best of our knowledge, unofficial, but it appears that Cindy Sample has won 547 to Gilbert Brassard's 513. In a two-way race for councilman, the incumbent Beverly Lamberton and a newcomer James Menard appear to have won. 747 for Lamberton, 586 for Menard, with Larry Begor finishing third with 505. And the superintendent, Billings, the incumbent, is returned to office, 630 to Miller's 456. And tax collector Gadway returned to office, 604 to LaValle's 458. In Shazy, only a couple of races. The incumbent Donald LaValle in the race for councilman is returned with 802. James Laramie, who had been a councilman and ran for supervisor 2 years ago, has been returned to office with 766. And Wayne Dino, who was elected 2 years ago and was an incumbent in this race, finishes third with 641. So LaValle and Laramie would appear to be the councilmen. And highway superintendent James Sessoms, a Democrat, appears to have defeated the Republican incumbent Max Davis by a 763 to 579 total. So a couple of incumbents defeated in the Shazy area. In Champlain, the only races were for councilman and for tax collector. And the councilman, it appears that Arnold Beal with a total of 774 and Albert Morelli with 662, the two Democrats. Beal, the incumbent, appear to have defeated Ralph Cookman with 500 and Richard Lauren with 469. The other incumbent there is Gerald Mayo, who was uncontested in the race for supervisor. And the councilman, the other councilman in Moores who did not run this year was Bruce Sample, who was the incumbent who did not run in that race, in case you're interested in that. Tax collector race, Liam Dupuy, the incumbent, appears to have defeated Alan Carden, the Republican challenger, 801 to 484. So those are the only races. Our totals in our local area on the coroner race, and again, this is just a portion of the entire county, and it's not going to be an indication of what's going to happen everywhere, but just want to let you know how the people are voting in the area, especially since it's a local candidate who was running against the incumbent. In Shazy, it was Ken LaPlante 552 to Stephen Gluck's 647. In Moores, LaPlante received 517 to Gluck's 436. And in Champlain, which is LaPlante's hometown here, 843 to 417. So he more than doubled Gluck in Champlain, for a total of the three towns of 1,922 for LaPlante and 1,500 for Gluck. And that appears to be all the races that we have to report. We want to thank once again Scarlett Sample and Moores for gathering up the information, Chris Latchmore, who came down and gathered up the information in Shazy. I'm sure he had some help from some people there. And of course Sam Castine for running the camera, helping with the figures, and gathering up the information in Rouse's Point for us. And a final reminder of the spaghetti dinner tomorrow to help NCCS at the Pier Restaurant starting at 5 p.m. And another reminder of the scores. Northeastern Clinton girls lost today to Canton in the regionals by a 1-0 margin, and the Seton Catholic girls defeated Augsburg Free Academy by a 2-1 margin. Thanks for being with us.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Hometown Cable's Car